Hello. We need to review division and the distributive property, lesson 4.6, page 163 of your textbook. You might want to have color pencils and additional grid paper. And so today's lesson, we can use the distributive property to break apart numbers to make them easier to divide. They're very similar to distributive property with multiplication. The distributive property of division says that dividing a sum by a number is the same as dividing each addend by the number and then adding the quotients. So how can we do that with grid paper? Well, outline a rectangle on a grid to model 69 divided by 3. Well, okay, so what would we do? We would shade columns of 3 until we have 69 squares. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, 48, 51, 54, 57, 60, 63, 66, 69. Okay, so and that's our rectangle. We shaded how many groups of 3 did we make? Well, we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We made 23 groups. Now, we could also think of 69 as 60 plus 9. So we could break apart our model into 2 rectangles to show 60 plus 9 divided by 3. So label and shade the smaller rectangles and use 2 different colors. And so we'll see here that they broke in 3 times 20 to represent 60 divided by 3. So we have a total of 60 squares shaded. And 9 divided by 3, you notice that we're going to have 3 sets of 3. So what does that mean as an equation or as a number sentence? 60 divided by 3. Well, that's 20. Okay, it took 20 rows of 3s to equal 60. 9 divided by 3, I needed 3 rows of 3. And 20 plus 3 is 23. So we can outline another model to show 68 divided by 4. So this time we're going to make groups of 4 until we get to 68. Four, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60, 64, 68. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 sets of 4. Okay, we can also think of 68 as 40 plus 28. Why would we want to use 40 and 28? Because those are multiples of 4s. So if we did 40 divided by 4, that would give us 10. And if we did 28 divided by 4, we would get 7. So we could go And we could have broke up our rectangle like that. 4 times 10 is 40. 4 times 7 is 28. So we have 4 rows of 17. Okay. So the numbers we choose when we break up our dividend into smaller numbers, we want to have multiples of the divisor. Okay, that's the important part. So number 1, explain how each small rectangle models a quotient and a product in step C. Okay, so in step C, we have 69 divided by 3, and we broke it into 60 divided by 3 plus 9 divided by 3. Okay, so now explain how each of those small rectangle models a quotient and a product. Well, the first rectangle represents 3 times 20, which is 60. And the inverse, the opposite of multiplication would be division. So the inverse relationship is the same as saying 60 divided by 3 is 20. The second rectangle represents 3 times 3, which equals 9, and its inverse relationship is 9 divided by 3, which equals 3. Compare your answer in step A to the final quotient in step C. What can you conclude? The answer in step A with the answer of step C. Well, I get 23 and 23. Okay, well, I can conclude they are the same. So step A versus step C, the answers are the same. And the same quotient can be found by breaking the dividend into smaller parts rather than just count all the way by threes. Okay, so let's continue with number 9. To find the quotient 91 divided by 7, would you break up the dividend into 90 plus 1 or 70 plus 21? Explain. Well, I know that 7 times 10 is 70, and 7 times 3 is 21. So I would use 70 plus 21. Okay, so I would use 70 plus 21 because they're multiples of 7. 90 is not a multiple of 7. 7 is not a factor of 1, so I don't see why you would break it up into 90 plus 1. You didn't make it any easier. In fact, you probably made it hard. All right, Well, we can also model 68 divided by 4 by using base 10 blocks. And so if we model 68, we see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10 rods, and we have 8 ones. So 68 could be written as 60 plus 8. All right. And now we're going to divide the longs into 4 equal groups. Four longs divided into 4 equal groups with 2 longs left. We're going to regroup those 2 longs as 20 small cubes, and then we can divide them evenly among the 4 groups. So you'll see here that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 10, and then these remaining 2 10s, they traded it for 21s. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. So these represent the 10s. Okay, we still haven't shared the 8 ones. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. Now we have to break up or share the 8 ones into 4 groups. And we'd have to put 2 more in each group. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we would still get 17, because 60 divided by 4 is 15, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. There's a couple of different ways of breaking up 68 divided by 4. Number 1, model the division on the grid. So these could be various answers, depends on how you break it apart. I'm going to use 20 plus 6. 20 and 6. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 plus 3 is 13. So what would that look like on the grid? Well, we'd have 2. We'd have 10 rows of 2. And 2 times 10, which equals 20, is the same as saying 20 divided by 2 is 10. And then the other one, we're going to have 2 rows of 3. 3 rows of 2. Two times 3 is 6, which is the same as saying 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 plus 3 is 13. All right, number 2, 45. Well, again, I want multiples of 3. I think I'm going to go 30. And 45 take away 30 leaves me 15. 15 is a multiple of 3. So that's good right there. So 3 times what is 30? 10. 3 times what is 15? 5. So 45 divided by 3 is 15. So if we were modeling that, it would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 rows of 3. And 3 times 10 is 30. 30 divided by 3 is 10. And then we would also have 5 rows of 3. Three times 5 is 15, which is the same as saying 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then we would add those two together. 10 plus 5 give us 15 for our quotient. So find the quotient. 86 divided by 2. Well, We can do it like that. 80 plus 6. 80 divided by 2. Well, that's 8 tens divided by 2. That's 4 tens, which is 40. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 86 divided by 2 is 43. 208 divided by 4. Well, I'm going to use 200 and I'm going to use 8. So 20 tens divided by 4. 20 tens divided by 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. That's 5. So 5 tens is 50. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 52. Use base 10 blocks to model the quotient. $88 divided by 4. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 10 rods and 8 ones. Okay, so we need to put them into 4 groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's just take the first 4 and put them in. And I still have 4 more, so I can share those again. And now we have 8 ones, which was going to be the same thing as the 8 tens. So I'm going to put 2 ones into each group, and that would be 8. So we have 22. All right, number 6, 36 divided by 3. So we'd represent the 30 with 3 10 rods, and then the 6 would be 6 ones. We need to go break that into 3 groups. So let's put 1 10 rod in each group, and that shares the 3 tens. And now we can put 1 1 in each group, and I have 3 left, so 1 more in each group. All right, number 7, 186 divided by 6. That's 18 tens. That's a lot of tens. And 6 ones. All right, so that's 186, and we have to put them into 6 groups. All right, so there's our 6 groups. Let's start by putting 1 10 in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have plenty more, so I can put another set of 6. Cross out those 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. Oh, okay, well that's great. All right, so we've used all the 10s, and now we have 6 ones. Well, I have 6 groups, so 1 into each group. So I have 10, 20, 31. 10, 20, 30, 31. I have 31 in each group. Explain how you can model finding quotients using the distributive property. All right, so what have we been doing? Well, we can draw a rectangle. Divide it into 2 parts. So that each part stands for a multiple of the divisor. the sum of the two numbers is equal to the dividend. Then solve the two different division problems. And add their quotients. So that's basically what we've been doing with the rectangles. We divided them into two parts so that each part stands for a multiple of the divisor, like 68. We broke that into 40 and 28, 60 and 8. Those are all multiples of 4. The sum of those two numbers that we broke apart, they equal the dividend. So if I say it's 60 plus 8, that equals 68. My dividend was 68. We're going to solve those two smaller problems, 60 divided by 4 and 8 divided by 4. And we're going to add the two quotients together. All right, so number 9. Justin earned $50 mowing yards and $34 washing cars. He wants to divide his money into 3 equal accounts. How much will he put into each account, and explain? Well, first we need to know how much money he's made. So we're going to need $50 and $34. We also need to know that he wants to put them into 3 equal accounts. So all right, so step 1, add 50 and 34 to get 84. 4 plus nothing is 4. 5 plus 3 is 8. So 84. Now we're going to divide that by 3. Two smaller problems could be what? Well, I know 6 is a multiple of 3, and so if I say 6 tens, that would be 60, leaving me 24. Well, I also know that 24 divided by 3 is a basic math fact. So these would be my two smaller problems. You can break them up differently if you want, but that would work the way I'm doing it. And so 60 divided by 3 equals 20. And 24 divided by 3 equals 8. So 20 plus 8 equals $28 in each account. $166. Christelle went to a gift shop. The shop sells candles in a variety of sizes and colors. The picture shows a display of candles. Write a problem that can be solved using the picture. All right, so let's see. We have 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We have 6 rows of 12. 6 times 12 is 72. Okay, so let's say this. If the display, now this is just one possibility. You can come up with your own questions. If the display can hold 72 candles and you sell 12 candles, how can you arrange the leftover candles in equal rows? So if the display can hold 72 candles, I sell 12 candles, how can you arrange the leftover candles in equal rows? Well, to solve that, we could say 72, take away 12, I have 60 left. Well, I can't have more than 2, 4, 6 rows. So I could have 6 rows of 10, because 6 times 10 is 60. I could have 5 rows of 12. 5 rows of 12 is 60. 10 rows of 6. That would be 60, but I can't hit. I can only fit 6 rows. So it's got to be one of these two. Okay. Okay. How could you change the problem by changing the number of rows of candles? Solve the problem. So I don't know, if I had 7 rows of 12, so I'm increasing the display. And I sell 12 candles. How can I arrange the remaining candles in equal rows? So we would have 84 take away 12, which would be 72. Well, we know that we could have 6 rows of 12 then, because that's what's being shown already. Okay, so I would have 6 rows of 12. And number 11. Choose yes or no to indicate if the expression shows a way to break apart the dividend to find the quotient 147 divided by 7. Okay, so divide by 7, divide by 7. But 135 plus 10 is not 147. That's 145. So no. 147 divide by 3. 147 divide by 4. No, because I need to divide 147 by 7. So that's not going to work. 140 plus 7 is 147. So yes, that would work. 70 plus 77, that's 147. So this one would work. So that's it for lesson 4.6. So until our next lesson, may the numbers always be in your favor.